Hey guys, and welcome to my channel and to this video. Today we will be painting these simple flowers and it will be totally easy and fun. So let's get started. First, I pre-wetted the entire paper, and after that I've just pre-mixed in some Naples yellow and ultramarine to get this neutral color, and then sprinkled it around my paper. And I did use a larger brush because I did want the paint to be a little bit more watered down and also for the sprinkles to be a little bit larger, so that is the reason. While the paper was still wet, I've painted the first layer, the flowers that will be slightly blurred down when dry, and that I did want to make an impression that they are just further away and not in focus. And for that, again, use that mix of Naples yellow and ultramarine, but this time a little bit more of the Naples yellow. And I paint in the petals first and then added the centers with golden and also with a little bit of burnt sienna in the lower part. And I painted it also the stems, but I did not try to paint it perfectly, just to make an impression that there are some flowers that are further away and not so much in focus. So I didn't fuss with that and try to paint harsh lines or straight lines, just as I said, the impression. After the paint completely dried, I went into painting the flowers that will be in focus, and this time I've also used a mix of Naples yellow and ultramarine, but I did add a little bit more of ultramarine to get again that neutral color that I used for sprinkles, and then painted in the flowers. And I did not make a sketch, and those flowers I did not try to make them even perfect. I was just adding some petals here and there, in the lower part a little bit larger, and in the upper part a little bit larger petals, and in the lower part a little bit smaller petals, just to make an impression that the flower is slightly turned from us. And also I've added a little bit of burnt sienna to the petals, just to make, well, some distinction, and just to try to make some parts of it like there are in shadow. And the paint was still wet from painting the petals, from painting the first layer of the petals, so the paint from the second layer from that burnt sienna did blend slightly. Also this time I did painted the center parts with golden and then added some burnt sienna, then went into painting the leaves on those flowers, and for that I used some green. And again, painted in the stems. I did also paint a couple of buds, and as you can see, that small little dot on the right side from this flower I'm painting right now, that is the bud, and I did paint it with Naples yellow, then again added a little bit of burnt sienna, and on top a little bit of green. I've painted in the stems, and when the paint, I guess it was dried, not really dried it, but it dried well, on its own while I was painting the other part of the painting. I've added lines that would, well, make an impression that they're just edges of the petals. I thought that would look actually nicer than just leaving it as it was. And then I slightly smudged in also those lines and just blend them into the petals that I painted earlier. I also decided to do a couple of leaves here and there, and I did again use the same mix as I did for the petals. This time I'm using a brush that has quite pointy tip, and it doesn't really hold too much water, because I did want it to be slightly more precise painting these petals and painting those lines. So that is the reason why I used the one with the pointy tip, and it can hold, as I said, a little bit less water, so a little bit more of the pigment is in there. I've also decided to add a little bit more structure to the flowers I've painted earlier as a background. So in just a light wash I added again that a couple of petals that I've painted, and just added also the centers of the flowers. And when finished with my flowers, I just wanted to add a little bit more of the background, the lower part, the ground. So I've used some Mars brown to paint in that ground. I've sprinkled it also here and there, did some sprinkles with green, and at the end added a little bit more of the details to the stems and a couple of leaves, and also to some flowers here and there, adding some lines that will just mimic the shadows. And also I decided to add leaves to the flowers, but in a lighter wash, to the flowers that were in the background. And with that I finished my painting, but when I picked up the washi tape, I've noticed that my flowers were just, well, they were too flat. So I've added a little bit more of the burnt sienna to the middle parts and the top of my buds. And I think that just made all the difference and made those flowers look a little bit more 3D. So with that, I'll be finishing off this painting and of course this video. Thank you guys a lot for watching and for all your support. I really do appreciate that a lot. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it, comment, and if you haven't still, please subscribe to my channel. That would really mean a lot to me. And I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.